Hey everybody, and welcome to the last house church video for our Happy series. We are talking about the two different types of houses that Jesus describes. There is the house that stands firm when the storms of life come because it's built on something solid, and then there's the house that falls apart really quickly. And as I dove into this text, I had guys on my mind. Valentine's Day, which I guess spend Valentine's Day thinking about guys necessarily. I do actually think about my wife, but Valentine's Day and the father-daughter banquet have been a good window for me, a good opportunity for me to get a little bit of a sense of how the men in our church or the men in my circles are doing as men, or to use Jesus's words, how are the guys doing as far as building a good house? Putting the time in to build the kind of life, the kind of house, to use Jesus' example, that can stand some storms. Another metaphor the Bible uses is of a tree. Are you becoming the kind of tree that's rooted, that people like your wife, like your little girl, Valentine's Day, father-daughter banquet, are you that kind of tree that these people can find shade in? And so I've been thinking a lot about that, and my question comes out of that. My question is really, why are guys so hesitant to really dive in and do the stuff that Jesus asks you to do that results in such a big, strong house? It's peculiar for me, especially along these lines, because you've got a guy who could bench press 300 pounds but can't shovel the driveway, right? So it's not a discipline thing. It's interesting to me. Why are there so few strong houses? Maybe that's a little bit harsh. Why are there not more strong houses when Jesus says everyone who does this can build this house? It's not about only special men with good upbringings can do it. No, it's everybody who chooses to follow Jesus can build this house. My light bulb moment came when I realized a couple things. So two light bulbs, I suppose. One is that people don't actually think Jesus means everybody. That when Jesus says, anyone who listens to my teachings and puts them into practice will build this house, he actually only means a select few. So some men disqualify themselves ahead of time, and who knows where that comes from. Other episodes of being disqualified or not chosen or whatever. It's hard to believe the words of Jesus when he says, yeah, you there, buddy, you can do this. You can build this house. You can build a life for yourself that can stand the storms. My other light bulb moment is that a lot of guys probably just don't consciously choose, yes, I'm going to follow Jesus, or no, I can't. They're too scared to make that choice. They're not so scared that they'll say, I'm just a victim and helpless and I can never do the things that Jesus wants me to. Nor do they say, yeah, I can do it, I'm all in. Instead, they just take this middle ground that sounds masculine, but is actually just so fear-based and apathetic. It's just, well, I can't be bothered by certain things. It's just who I am. Their wife will want them to be passionate about something, and they're like, no. And they end up living vicariously through men who throw footballs better than them, who are married to supermodels, and they don't actually have a life to live on their own. And so they don't follow Jesus just because they're scared. Is the middle thing, and the middle ground between yes or no. So my light bulb moment is really that this passage is for disengaged men, calling them to say, you can do this, you can follow Jesus, you can build a life that does stand the storm. See, the problem that happens when you have a passive life, and basically what a passive life is doing is it's trying to avoid the storms. So rather than build a big house that can stand the storms, the passive man says, I'm going to just try and avoid the storms by not caring about anything, by not serving anywhere, by not being vulnerable. I'll be disappointed when my football team loses, but I'll never be hurt. Doesn't really matter, though, if you're playing it that safe. It just means when your house crashes, it might be so small, your life has shrunk so much that when it falls apart, there might not be anybody there to see it. My conviction is, like Jesus is really, that anyone can do the stuff Jesus is teaching. You just need some people around you. You need somebody to really reaffirm for you that Jesus chose you and didn't make a mistake for this, to start getting yourself off the couch and into the game, start caring about things that really matter, put twice as much time into your family as you do into whatever other distractions are safer, and man up. Jesus in this text gives an opportunity to give you your masculinity back, let's say, And my conviction is that I don't want that opportunity to slip by for the men in our church. At the end of this sermon series, when Jesus is teaching you how to have a certain kind of strong life that will be a gift to yourself and other people, I don't want this series to slide by without you missing it. That is my conviction. So, have fun talking about this. Have a great house church. Grace and peace.